How's it going, my truant people? Dr. Slacking, the Slacking Doctor, back on Pokemon Showdown for the first round of playoffs in the ABC, that's the Associated Battle Community, and that's right, your Bowland Bovines are in the quarterfinals of the Slacking Conference playoffs. That's insane. I can't believe that we've made playoffs again for the third league in a row now. It's amazing. This draft has been super fun to play with. I've loved this season of the ABC. I wasn't expecting much going into this game against Cpt.Sebasaur. I've got to be honest with you here. My front office weren't available to help me build at all, so this is a team completely that I've built. I didn't have any time to mock or anything like that. I literally built it just the night before and then tried to sleep, and I managed to get 90 minutes sleep before this game. That was my night sleep, was 90 minutes, an hour and a half. So I was just not in a good place when we were playing this game. I just, I want that full disclosure, because if some of the sets are weird or whatever, then that's why. It was what it was. We had to play this game and I felt like crap. But that being said, going up against Sebasaur is awesome. We recently played him in Owl, which you guys should have seen a little while ago at this point, because I'm behind on ABC uploads, and he smacked us there. But we did beat him earlier in the season in ABC, so I kind of used the same team that I used against him last time, near enough. He has changed some things, like for example, he's brought Darmanitan in for Victini, and he's brought in Donphan for Sandslash. So that allowed me to make one or two changes to the team. So we've got Empoleon here. This is a pretty offensive Empoleon. It's max special attack modest, but with like max HP, maybe a little bit of speed, I can't quite remember. With a Sugar Berry, the idea being we can take an EQ from a Donphan or Earthquake from a Mega Gyarados. With Scald and Grass Knot to hit that Mega Gyarados and take it really low. And we can just kind of wear through his team with our Dual Stab. The idea is that hopefully we can get our own rocks up, and hopefully we can stop Donphan from getting his up by just scolding it immediately. So we are going to leave Empoleon in this game, actually, just because whilst it leads pretty awfully against everything else on his team, it doesn't lead bad against the Donphan, and I just want to make sure that he doesn't get rocks for free. I want to just scold him turn one if he's going for rocks, and try and maybe even snag a burn to negate Sturdy or something, That's the kind of thinking anyway. Then we've got Scolipede. This is a sweeper set with Sword Stance, Z Earthquake, X Scissor and Poison Jab. It pretty much beats this team at team preview if we can position it right. Poison Jab will kill Mienshao with a little bit of chip. X Scissor will kill Mega Gyarados with a little bit of chip, especially at +2. Both those will die without chip. Z Earthquake will kill Magearna. The Donphan is the only real problem. We have to take out the Donphan earlier to be able to win with Scolipede. The Darmanitan will die to an Earthquake, especially at +2, and the Tornadus will die to a Poison Jab at +2, especially if rocks are up. So if we can get a Sword Stance up and we get the Donphan gone, we look good. Doesn't look like there's a lot I can Sword Stance on in this team, which I'll get onto in a second, but hopefully if we can get enough chip and everything, we won't even need the Sword Stance. Then we have the Amoonguss, and this is the one thing that might help us get a Sword Stance, is it is rocking Spore this week, because I don't think the Magearna will have safety goggles, for example, so I might be able to get that sleep. So Mega Gyarados definitely won't have safety goggles, and I can live any one hit from this thing, even at +1 if I'm at full health, so I can Spore it then. Obviously holding the Mega Stone, there's nothing you can do about it. And I can maybe also get the Torn, the Darmanitan, or the Mienshao, because those three are terrifying mons, so if I get one of them to sleep, it makes it a lot easier to play against him. Then we have Mega Lopunny. Sorry, I should also say on this set we have Sludge Bomb just to keep spamming and try and hit the rest of his team with coverage. The Sludge Bomb works really well with the Magearna, because if he goes into Magearna reading the Sludge Bomb, then I have Stomping Tantrum, which gets doubled in power because the move before would have failed, essentially. So the Stomping Tantrum will hit the Magearna for about 50%, which is really nice. And then the last move is Synthesis for longevity. Of course, the Regenerator Core with Slowbro there also being pretty nice. There we have the Mega Lopunny. This is just a substitute set because I can scare a lot of things out and get a substitute on them. I can also get a substitute on sleeping mons or paralyzed mons, which I'll get onto in a second as well. With High Jump, Kick, Quick Attack, and Return. I would have loved to have had Power Up Punch on this set, but I felt like Quick Attack was more useful to try and pick off Scarfers if they were at low health. Excuse me. Then we have Slowbro here, and Slowbro is a Scold, Thunder Wave, Slack Off, and something else. I can't remember what the last move is. It might have been Psyshock set. Might have been Grass Knot for the... No, I think it was just Scold, Thunder Wave, Slack Off, and something else I'm forgetting. I think probably Psyshock. The idea being this thing hardboiled Darmanitan, and Thunder Wave was really nice because if he was in with Darmanitan, he had to switch into something that would want to take a Scold, which is never going to be the Donphan. So that means anything else in his team that he wants to switch into on the Slowbro, I can try and paralyze it, specifically the Mega Gyarados, because if he's predicting me to go for a Psychic type move on the on the Mienshao, he might go into Gyarados, predicting that, and then get Thunder Waved. Or if he wants to risk the burn on Gyarados because it is his water resist, he might go into it on a Scald, although that's less likely. But anything else, we could try and hit with the T-Wave too. So just slow things down and make them easier to deal with. And then last up is our Tornadus check. So last time we brought a bulky Spadef Togekiss, if you watched that game, to wall Tornadus, because I knew he wouldn't bring Sludge Wave last game. This game, I think he'll bring Sludge Wave because he got walled by the Togekiss last game. So I couldn't do the same thing again. Last time we brought a Fizdef Hydreigon to try and wall the Victini that he had, but this time he has the Darmanitan, which has probably got superpower. So he might look at team matchup and think that I'm doing the same thing again and trying to wall the Darmanitan, or he might think that I'm bringing like a Scarf Hydreigon or something like that. But actually we're a Spadef Hydreigon with Dark Pulse as main stab because it hits pretty much all of his team. Fire Blast because it hits the Magearna, which is the only thing Dark Pulse doesn't really hit. I mean, Gyarados kind of walls us to some extent, but then we have T-Wave on there, so we can also paralyze the Gyarados and anything else on his team. And then Roost for longevity. So this is a really bulky team. We literally have 2 offensive mons in Megalopin and Scolipede, a semi-offensive Empoleon, and then everything else is bulky to try and soak up hits because Sebasaur's teams are always so damn offensive. They're so scary. I should say, full disclosure, I just recorded this video once, and I forgot to press record, or recorded this video once, but forgot to press record, so this is my second time recording it, so if the commentary is a little bit, it's because I just recorded it, and now I'm trying again, and it is 5:30 AM, and I haven't slept yet, because my sleeping pattern's all over the place, as I said earlier. So, with that being said, let's get into this. We lead off with Empoleon, like I said, and he actually leads with Tornadus, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to go for Rocks, because he's probably going to taunt, but I might as well try it. He does indeed go for Taunt. So I'm like, okay, he's probably going for Knockoff now. Let me go for Scold. I don't care if I lose my Shucker at this point. I'm just going to go for Scold. Screw it. I want damage on this thing and maybe a burn. He does go for the Knockoff. And I'm like, I don't think he's got superpower. And he goes for the U-turn here. And I'm like, I don't think he's got superpower. So we find out that Hydreigon definitely walls that thing. Because if he had superpower, he would have clicked it. So, because once he knocked off my berry, he knew I wasn't Chopal. So we just keep firing for Scold. We might have got the burn on Magearna, which would have been a nice chip. Unfortunately, we don't. We're going to go out into Rungus, which is our dedicated Magearna check, as he goes for the Focus Blast, and we eat that. Sorry, I just want to get some water down me. Then he goes for the Volt Switch, and I'm like, that's fine. I believe we fire for Spore here, because we want to try and put the Magearna to sleep, or anything else that comes in. And he goes into Taunt, which seems the most likely switch, or the Darmanitan. Either of those going to sleep is perfect for us. So that's fine. We go out into our Empoleon on the Sleeping Taunt, hoping to try and get our rocks up. And he actually goes out into Mienshao, and I'm like, damn. Then he goes for the U-turn here to pivot out as we go into Slowbro. Slowbro pretty much walls I didn't say actually, Slowbro is max Fizdef, so not only does it wall the Darmanitan every which way, Darmanitan just never beats this, unless he's running like Toxic on there, which would be a good bring. We also, once he's got a knockoff off on us, the Amoonguss and the Slowbro actually wall the Mienshao, because the only way it really breaks them with a 2-hit KO is through knockoff, and once we lose the item, as long as we slack off or synthesis up the turn he clicks knockoff, then we're golden. So we can wall that as well. So it would suck to lose our passive recovery, but at the same time we have reliable recovery, so it's not the end of the world. As he goes out into Gyarados in here, we're at 66%, so I'm going to stay in because I can take a crunch, and I think he's going to Dragon Dance. So I'm just going to go for the Thunder Wave, and he actually goes for the Ice Fang. I was right to think that he would make some kind of prediction, because it kind of looks a bit insane if you stay in with a Slowbro and a Mega Gyarados when your Slowbro walls everything on his team. But it's because I know I'm absolute max Fizdef, and I'll take that crunch, and I can regen it off, so I really don't care. I just want to get this thing paralyzed. As I say, I'm pretty sure he's going to go for some kind of read. Had he gone for Substitute, I'd have been buggered. I'd have felt pretty silly, but he didn't, so we're okay. Actually, I probably would have just sat the Empoleon and go into Megalopin or something like that. I don't quite know, but regardless, we get the T-Wave off, and here I'm going to stay in and just slack off, try and get up to full. As he goes for the crunch, I know I can take a crunch still, and we do take the crunch, although it does a lot. And slack off means that we are now in crunch range, potentially. So I'm like, damn, I'm going to have to switch. I was hoping I might have forced him out there after the T-Wave. And we go into Empoleon, trying to eat up that crunch. I'm like, damn it, no, that's not going to work. We're going to have to go back out into Amoonguss as he goes for the high jump kick. Nice play. It does 41%, so it does do quite a lot. But with the Black Sludge recovery, we're kind of eating it as he reveals to be Life Orb. I think that's already been revealed, actually, at this point. But he goes for the knockoff, which I thought might be coming, so I went for the synthesis here just in case he had something like that. And we take that, and now at this point he can't 2-hit KO us with any move. The likely coverage could be things like Stone Edge or Return and stuff, and neither of those are going to 2-hit KO us without crits. As he goes out into the Tornadus, And on the Tornadus, I'm just going to go straight into Empoleon, and I'm going to get my rocks up, and he's going to be asleep, for that's the first turn of guaranteed sleep. So I'm like, yep, that's fine. Let me get my rocks up. He can't kill me with any one move, because we've seen that he's got knockoff U-turn and probably Hurricane, so we're going to get rocks up. As the Mienshao comes in again, I'm going to go back into Amoonguss at this point, because if he wants to go for the knockoff, predicting the Slowbro coming in, I don't want to take that. At this point, Amoonguss walls him, so I'm just going to stay in with Amoonguss. And he actually does reveal to have the Stone Edge as we just go for the Synthesis here, trying to rest back up. Oh, and at this point, we're really making him take some Life Orb recoil, which is really, really nice. I'm going to go back into Empoleon here on the Stone Edge, knowing we can eat that. And then I'm going to try and force him into a high jump kick on the Empoleon. I'm going to go out into Sean the Slowbro, and I'm going to eat that up. And the idea here is we're just putting him lower and lower and lower with the rocks and with the Life Orb recoil he's taken. We know he's Regenerator, but we're just trying to wear him down a little bit. And he's going to go for the U-turn here, getting sick of my shenanigans. As I believe I just go for the Slack off. Oh no, I go for the Scold here, I'm pretty sure, because I can pivot back into Amoonguss, which is at full. I go for the T-Wave, trying to paralyze Mienshao, but thinking I'd bait him into a knockoff there, which he doesn't go for. He goes out into the Mega Gyarados, so he's seen that I'm playing pretty risky with my Slowbro, so he makes a good play. Or he might have just been predicting a Psyshock or something like that and didn't want to risk his Mienshao, which also makes perfect sense, as he wouldn't have killed with knockoff, so yeah, that's probably why. But nevertheless, we went for the Thunder Wave because there's no reason not to. He goes out into this thing, and he is actually paralyzed this first turn, which means that we can fire off a big Grass Knot against him and get a load of damage, and he goes for the Crunch. So that paralysis was a little bit lucky. I mean, as it happens, we just go out into Mega Lopunny and we go for the sub here. My thinking for going for the sub here was that, one, we've always got the paralysis chance on him, but two, Mega Lopunny never takes a hit from anything on his team. You look at his team, like Hurricane kills us, Flare Blitz kills us, Earthquake pretty much kills us, Flare Cannon kills us, Waterfall kills us, High Jump Kick kills us. We take 0 hits. Like, when we're in with Pamela, we either need a sub up or we need to kill the thing in front of us. So the reason why I said the first paralysis didn't necessarily matter when we got the Grass Knot off on him is because I was always going to go into Lopunny once I'd sacked Empoleon. I was always going to click Substitute, and I was always going to click Sub 3 times as long as it took until he got paralyzed. Unfortunately, we actually get it on the first turn. It doesn't make much difference, but we're just going to fire for a return now. The only other difference again would have been I'd had to have locked into High Jump Kick there if he'd been at more health, but we would have killed him. And now he's going to go out to Donphan. I'm just going to click High Jump Kick because if he wants to break my sub, then he's not going to be able to get rocks down. Because you said that did 49% there. And his leftovers put him back at 51%. So I ran the calcs, and it's looking like this is max HP, 0 defense, max attack, adamant. So I'm like, right, this is a strong roll in our favor to kill here with the High Jump Kick, which is incredible. It means he doesn't get to Rapid Spin, he doesn't get his own rocks up. I think he might preserve this thing. So we're just going to click the High Jump Kick and send this thing packing. We actually miss the High Jump Kick and take the recoil. So again, the paralysis on the Gyarados comes in a little bit clutch there, because had we had to go for any more substitutes, we'd now be at 1% instead of 26%, which would have really sucked. So, you know, there's that side of things too, which did definitely help us with the paralysis. But what's really upsetting here is he just goes for the Rapid Spin, and he gets rid of the rocks, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to go for another High Jump Kick here, and he might just kill me with an Earthquake. And as you see, we actually did 52% with that High Jump Kick, so the turn before he was at 51, so I actually did discuss his set with him, and the turn, his set wasn't quite 0 defense, it was 65 defense EVs, so we only had a 40% chance to kill with this High Jump Kick. So there's that, you know, it wasn't a roll in our favor, it was a roll in his favor. That being said, the High Jump Kick that we did land the turn afterwards did actually get more than 51%, it got 52%, so that roll would have killed him the turn before. Yeah, but we missed it. So it's just like, he's got our rocks down and he's got his own rocks up. That's kind of agony for us. That's really bad luck for us. But we've had a bit of good luck with the paralysis and stuff. So you win some, you lose some, I guess. We just go out into Slowbro here. And as he goes for the Flare Blitz, because we eat any hit from Darmanitan. And I think we just fire off a Scold here. Hoping that he might give us Mienshao with the Scold. And he doesn't. He goes into this thing, because if we'd been able to burn the Mienshao, that would have been awesome, but it makes sense that he'd go into this thing. And rather than risking it, we're just going to pivot out, I believe, into the Hydreigon, because that is our dedicated Taunt check, and I don't want to risk Slowbro at this point in case he wakes up and hits us. And here I'm like, he's not going to expect me to stay in. There's no way. I've been keeping Hydreigon in the back all game, pretty much. So he's going to probably be thinking that Hydreigon is a sweeper set, and he's probably thinking that I've doubled it into Hydreigon here. to really try and go for game, to go for broke and hit hard. So I'm thinking he's definitely going to Volt Switch because he thinks I'm not going to risk Hydreigon. He's going to think there's no way Hydreigon can kill. It's not a Z user, so it can't Z Earth Power him. So he's going to be like, yeah, he's not going to risk his Hydreigon. He's going to switch out. In actuality, Hydreigon is a defensive set, and I know he's going to switch out, so I'm just going to go for the Fire Blast. The reason being, if I can get a Fire Blast off on Magearna now, and I can get Mienshao below 80%, Scolipede just wins. Scolipede does about 75 to 80% with a Poison Jab on Mienshao. It will kill Darmanitan at +1 speed with the Earthquake or Z Earthquake if you have to go for that. Any chip on Magearna puts it in Earthquake range if we're unboosted. And the Tornadus is still asleep and we might be able to kill it with a Poison Jab anyway. So I'm thinking actually Scolipede pretty much wins with some chip on Magearna if I can get it in and positioned correctly. So I'm just going to go for the Fire Blast and hope I land it. I'm confident he's going for the Volt Switch anyway, but even if he doesn't, I'm willing to risk Aquarius at this point. I'm willing to let Hydreigon go down. And he does pop off the Volt Switch, so it makes me look like I was predicting that, which I kind of was, but I also just didn't care about Hydreigon at this point. I just wanted chip on Magearna, and we get the burn on Magearna, which is really nice for just residual damage, just to keep wearing it down. And we're going to go out into Strumpf on this high jump kick. He has no reason to kick high jump kick, and I'm like, oh, damn, can he miss a high jump kick? We missed one. Can he miss one? But he doesn't, unfortunately. And here he goes for the Stone Edge as we pivot out into Sean, because Amoonguss was just getting a little bit too low to keep taking hits. I didn't think he'd go for the knockoff there. And he goes for the U-turn, as I believe I go for the slack off so that I could even take the knockoff and get all my health back. Although I'm not sure we did live a... No, we go for the Scold. We go for the Scold because I expect him to U-turn. That's it. I don't think he'll stay in. I think he'll U-turn out. And I want him to U-turn into Darmanitan. I want to pop that thing with a Scold because I think he's going to predict a slack off here. So I'm like, yeah, let me hit him with that Scold. But he doesn't risk it. He goes into the Magearna, which is fair enough. And I'm going to have to pivot out again. So we just go into Amoonguss. This is our dedicated Magearna switching. We take any hit from this Magearna. Even Ice Beam only does about 49%. So with Black Sludge Recovery, it would never beat us. But this was our dedicated Magearna check anyway. We eat this high jump kick and just go for a Synthesis. And all we need is him to miss one high jump kick. Please, Seb, just miss one like we did. But it didn't happen. He pivots hard out into the Darmanitan. He doesn't even go for the U-turn. And we managed to get back up to 100%. And we're going to pivot out into Slowbro on the Darmanitan. If he goes for U-turn, we will take it and we will live. But we are starting to really get worn down by rocks plus U-turn. It's really starting to hit us quite hard. I don't like it. So we're going to have to make some bold plays to get Slowbro back up to a decent amount of health. We're going to go out into Amoonguss on this one because obviously we can't take anything at this range. And he's going to go back out into the Darm. And it's just like, I'm stuck in the vortex at the minute. So we're going to go into Hydreigon here. We're going to go into Hydreigon because if he stays in the Flare Blitzes, we eat it and we get a bit of momentum. We can fire off a Dark Pulse against something coming in. And if he goes for the U-turn, I'm hoping I might be able to sack this thing to the Mienshao or something else to get in Scolipede to go for game. And he goes for the U-turn, he puts me really low, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. He goes into Mienshao, and I'm like, damn it, we're too low. He's going to go for U-turn here. There's no way he doesn't. I need to preserve this thing. So we're just going to pivot out into the Amoonguss again and take this U-turn. And he does indeed go for it, and I'm just like, how do I get Scolipede in? Like, what do I have to do to get Scolipede in? I clearly have to sack something to get Scolipede in, but at the minute it's really, really difficult to get that. So we go into Aquarius here, and we can't get Scolipede in now. I was really hoping he'd go for a U-turn that turn, because basically... Sorry, my nose is really itching. Basically, if he went for a U-turn on that turn... We'll get to it in a second. Then the only things he can go out into is his Tornadus, his Magearna, and his Mienshao. And all of those let Scolipede go for game. I could fire off my Z Earthquake against this Mienshao at this point and try and kill it that way. From 100% maybe. Or at least I can just start to like take out one or two of his threats. You know, I can really start to put the pressure on him offensively. I've got to do something. So I'm like, yes, here comes the sack. Here comes the sack. Kill me. Kill me with U-turn and go out into one of your other things. But he kills me with Flare Blitz, which means that the Scolipede can't come in, so I'm like, god damn it. Alright, we're going to go into Slowbro, but what that also means, this was the other side of that sack, is that it means I can get Slowbro back up to a good amount of health, because we were losing that war. It was not a good position for us. I know he's going to go for the Volt Switch here, more than likely, so I'm just going to pivot out, and we're going to get more regen on Slowbro. I didn't have to go for the slack off, because I knew I could get some regen health back no matter what happened, and we go out into Amoonguss as he Volt Switches out. So I'm just spamming regen at the minute. I'm just regenning around, trying to stop this offensive core. Here I'm like, okay, you know, he's not going to go for Flare Blitz this time. He's definitely going to go for U-turn. So I'm going to get real brave and stay in and go for the Synthesis. Wish I'd fired a Sludge Bomb into this thing, but I didn't, and tried to go for the Poison. But I felt like playing patient and keeping it healthy was more important. Here I go for the Sludge Bomb. No, I go for the Stomping Tantrum because I'm like, he's going to pivot out again. And I'm trying to catch the Dom. I'm like, he's thinking I'm going to go for Synthesis here, right? It looks like I'm going to go for Synthesis. I've been clicking Synthesis all the time on this kind of thing. I'm going Stomping Tantrum. Give me your Darmanitan. Go Darmanitan. And he doesn't go Darmanitan. He goes into the Tornadus. And I'm like, God damn it, Seb. Why is this the one time you go to Tornadus? Then he hard pivots into the Magina as I go for Synthesis this time. Because I'm like, I just might as well get healthy on this Tornadus. He goes for the Iron Head, and I'm like, that's fine. I'm just going to go for the Synthesis, and that's actually wasting my last Synthesis, but I want to be as healthy as I can. And here I'm going to go for a Sludge Bomb because he outspeeds me, and he'll get his damage off anyway. He's going to die to the burn regardless. I have no Synthesis PP left, and if he had switched, I would have hit something with a Sludge Bomb, so there was no point in not going for Sludge Bomb. He dies to the burn, as I say. And now he brings in Darmanitan, and I'm like, I'm going to stay in because I don't think he Flare Blitzes. It doesn't make sense to lock yourself into Flare Blitz. This thing's clearly Scarf. And I'm going to go for a Sludge Wave. And I'm going to Sludge Bomb. And I'm going to try and kill the Mienshao or get a poison on it. So that I can start wearing it down. And he doesn't go into the Mienshao. He goes into this thing. And we get the first turn of sleep. Or second turn of sleep as well. So we actually get, I think, in total 3 turns of sleep on this thing. So we definitely got some good amount of sleep on that, which is a little bit lucky for sure. And now he goes back out into Dom. And this time, I'm like, he's still not going to go for the Flare Blitz. So I'm feeling brave. So I just stay in a Sludge Bomb trying to catch a poison. And we don't get the poison. And this time he U-turns out and kills me. And I'm like, yes, okay, I'm fine to let Amoonguss go down. Because he's going to go into Dom. And he goes into Dom. What that gives me is Slowbro. And then, I believe I just go for the Slack off here to get back to a good amount of health. I don't think I go for the Skull trying to burn the Mienshao. I'll go for the Thunder Wave. That's it. I go for the Thunder Wave to slow down the Mienshao. Because now that the Torn's gone, this is really crucial. That's why, once the Torn went down, that's why I was really happy. After this turn, that's why I was really happy to sack at Moongus. Is because after Torn had gone down, suddenly, Spore / Thunder Wave was free against the team because Sleep Claws was gone. And he didn't have any mons with status condition because the Burned Magina was gone and the Asleep Tornadus was gone. So Thunder Wave is free. Something's getting paralyzed and I don't care what it is. I want to paralyze everything that he has because I can maybe win if they're slowed down. So I'm just going to go for the Thunder Wave here. And he goes out into the Mienshao. So I'm like, yes, T-Wave. We could have gone for the Scald and tried to snag a burn, would have been really awesome as well, but it's still pretty nice. And here I'm just going to try and sack the Mega Lopunny. I think that he's probably going to try and kill me here with a knockoff or something, because this thing suddenly is a little bit less valuable. So I think that he might try and kill me here, so I'm going to go hard into Pamela and just sack Pamela, because if I sack Pamela to the knockoff, then I get Scolipede in for free. I click Poison Jab. This thing, after one more turn of Life Orb Recoil, is in Poison Jab range. And then I kill the Darmanitan with the Earthquake because I'll outspeed it at +1 speed with Speed Boost. I hope that all makes sense. I'm finally like, yes, I can finally position the damn sweep. I can finally position Scolipede to clear the rest of the game. Not sweep, but clean the rest of the game. And he gets paralyzed on the Mienshao, which really sucks for him, but it also kind of sucks for me. Now, as it happened, he said he clicked U-turn this time, so I wouldn't have got the Scolipede in anyway. But what that would have done is that would have given me Slowbro in against the Darmanitan. That would have had to click U-turn, and I could have scolded into the Mienshao and potentially taken out the Mienshao that way. So I still had options for sure, but we're just going to pop off the return and kill the Mienshao here. And that essentially seals up the game because he has to lock into a Choice Scarf to move here, and nothing he can really hit. We crit with the Quick Attack, but that's meaningless because nothing he can lock into is capable of killing Slowbro and Scolipede. If he locks into U-turn, Scolipede beats him. If he locks into Flare Blitz, Slowbro beats him. I'm going to double out from Slowbro into checkmate here. I'm just going to sack the Scolipede. 1, because it makes him take a lot of recoil, and I didn't know if it would kill him. It doesn't. But 2, it means that Slowbro is out of crit range guaranteed from Flare Blitz. Because had Flare Blitz crit, it maybe might have killed if it had like crit burned. Maybe it might have killed us. Well, no, because I guess we would have got attack off before the burn damage. But either way, it just didn't seem worth risking. I just didn't want to mess around with it. So we just made sure we're definitely out of crit range as he pops off this Flare Blitz. You can see it does a decent amount, still at 28. And we're just going to fire off the Scold to claim the victory here in the quarterfinals of the ABC playoffs. that does mean that your Bowland Bovines are now in the semi-finals. We're going up against Aquarius, a member of my front office, one of my close friends in this community, my Owl teammate. So that is going to be a really, really intense game going up against Aquarius, but I can't wait for it. And first off, I have to say GG to my man Sebasaur. He played really, really well, and we definitely got the rub of the green in this game. I think I have some valid kind of complaints in terms of he never missed a damn high jump kick for starters when we missed one. 2, our high jump kick, considering we did get the roll we needed on Darmanitan to turn after, although you can't guarantee the way RNG works that would have happened, but we still had a 40% chance to kill the Darmanitan if we had landed it. So the fact that, like, all those things kind of sucked for us in terms of it put us under way more pressure, him having rocks up, and it really sucked us not having rocks up against him. That was a crucial thing. Had we killed the Donphan with that second roll, he would have had rocks up on his side of the field, and we would have won that game so much easier because A, we would have had rocks on our side, and B, Darm couldn't have done what it was doing with the U-turn momentum. So, whilst, like, I think we would have got slightly lucky to get the roll on the Donphan in terms of it being like a 40% roll on the Donphan in our favour, 60% in his favour. It definitely would have been lucky in that sense. I do feel a bit aggrieved that we didn't even get the chance to go for it because it would have changed the game astronomically. That being said, we got some lucky paralysis turns where I could put the Gyarados really low, but as I've explained, that was kind of here nor there because we would have come in with Lopunny, but then the high jump kick missed with Lopunny would have killed Lopunny, so that would have changed things as well, I guess. So there was just a lot of RNG in this game, a lot of RNG, and even at the end here with the paralysis on the Mienshao, I know he felt aggrieved that we got Mega Lopunny in for free to kill off the Mienshao, but even if I'd sacked the Lopunny to the U-turn, I could have then gone into Slowbro, and I then could probably have just walled his last 2 things with Slowbro, as I could have kept T-Waving the Darmanitan as well, and slacking off and stuff, and eventually I probably would have won that game. Well, not probably, but I had a very good chance to win that game. So the way I see it is we got more luck than him, but the bits of bad luck that we got hurt our chances to win, or were more dramatic. That's how I kind of feel, because if you get what I'm saying. Maybe that doesn't really explain it, but the point is it wasn't a clean game at all. There was RNG on both sides, all over the place. It just wasn't a clean game, so I apologise to him for that. Nevertheless, I have to commend him on a fantastic season. I think he's done brilliant this season. He was on such a hot streak going into playoffs. I didn't think we had a hope in hell. I had to play at the best of my ability today. This is the best performance I've put in a while on a personal note, so I'm proud of that. And I had to do that because Seb played super, super well and has been playing super, super well all season. So yeah, shout out to him on a fantastic season. I hope he comes back next season in the ABC because he's been just an asset to the league completely. I've loved having him be a part of the community for sure. So anyway, guys, I'm going to stop rambling because that's what I do. I ramble on for hours if no one stops me. I hope you enjoyed this game. I hope you're hyped for semi-finals on the channel against Aquarius, against a friend, against someone that we had an amazing game with in the regular season. So that's going to be hype. Thank you so much for living around with me, guys, and I'll catch you again next time.